All right, third grade, you are going to be doing a color mixing painting today inspired by Alma Woodsy. You are going to need watercolor paper with your name on the back with a pencil. Do that first when you first get your paper. Flip it over. You can turn your paper any direction you want while you're working today. That is up to you. You will need a paper plate that has the primary colors, yellow, blue, and red. This should be already prepared for you when you get to class. The amount of paint that you get is going to be around an Oreo size amount of paint per color. You want to make sure that you are using your paint wisely. You only get this paint. You do not get more today. You also need a bowl or a cup of water. You can use the dog bowls or the small cups of water over by the sink, whatever paintbrush you want to use today, and paper towel. Okay, so to begin, you are going to be using, you can use these colors individually. You are also able to mix the secondary colors like we talked about when we did our color wheels. I'm going to show you how to do that today. I'm going to start off with red though, so I'm going to go ahead and dip my paintbrush in my red, and I'm going to make a shape somewhere on my paper to begin with. It could be any shape that you want. I'm going to go ahead and just do a circle to start off my painting. Again, you want it to be about Oreo size when you create your shape. Okay? Now, every time you switch colors, because we're using the already liquid paint, you are going to be washing your brush every time you change a color in your water, and also drying your brush as well. You do not want to make your paint watery. Okay, so every time you change colors, wash and dry your brush. Okay, just like, think about it like when you take a bath or a shower at home. You wash and you dry before you put clothes on. Okay, to make a secondary color on your plate without messing up your other colors, what you do is you scoop up the color that you want to mix and move it to a new place. So I'm going to make orange. Okay, I'm also going to scoop up color from the other side and then mix it in. If it turns out too dark, then what do you have to do? So if this is too dark of an orange for your liking, okay, then you scoop up a little bit more of the other color and turn it into the color that you want. Now, it's okay if there's a little bit of yellow mixed in with my red because I still have nice red over here to use. Again, I still have a little bit of red mixed in with my yellow, but I still have tons of good yellow to use if I want to use that color again. So now I just made an orange, and I can make a stripe of orange going around my color. If you want to do it in the Alma Woodsy style where you do more like dashed lines, you can do that also. But you can also do solid lines like I'm doing here in my demonstration. Again, I'm going to switch my color, so I'm washing my brush in my water over here on my side outside of the camera area and drying my brush on my paper towel. And then I'm going to switch colors. Let's say I want to just use regular yellow this time. Pick up my yellow and do a stripe of yellow around my orange. You want to make sure that your circles or your whatever shape that you're doing around your starting shape is right next to it. You don't want any white gaps in between. So there's my yellow stripe. Wash my brush, dry my brush. I'm going to show you how to make green. So I'm going to scoop up some yellow, move it over here to the side, scoop up some blue, mix it in with my yellow to make whatever green color I want. Because blue is more powerful, I had a lot more blue than I needed, so now it's more of a blue-green, which is fine. I can still use that color. It does not have to be a perfect green color. And then I'm going to go ahead and use that color around my stripe. It's more of a blue-green because it has more blue in it. If I wanted it more of a regular green, I would have needed to add more yellow. Now guys, you're going to keep doing this on your paper until your whole paper is filled up with stripes of colors. Okay, and you're going to keep going around that original shape until it grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and it fills up your whole paper. It's kind of like when you drop something in a pond and it makes ripples. So you're going to do that same sort of idea. So I just washed and dried my brush because I'm switching colors. I'm going to show you how to make purple. Scoop up some red, scoop up some blue, and mix it in a new place. Now notice, it's almost like a mini color wheel on my paper plate. I have a space for each of my colors, so I'm not messing up my original colors. They're still there if I want to use them again. And I just made purple in a new place, and I can use that to make a stripe around my shape. When you run out of paint, just scoop up some more and keep painting. Okay, and you're just going to keep going. Now, there will be a point where I'll have extra space down here, but I'll run out of space over here. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to keep painting my circles until I get to the edge, and then eventually it's only going to go here and then up here, and then eventually it's only going to go down here because this has more space than up here. So that means that you're just going to keep painting your stripes until you run out of space in one area, and then you continue them in the area that you have left. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this painting, but I'm going to do it outside of the camera time because I think you guys understand what we are doing here. You're just mixing the colors you want to mix. I showed you how to make all of the secondary colors without harming your other colors. And you're going to just paint stripes around your original shape until it's all filled in. And you're practicing mixing colors. That is the whole goal of this lesson, is that you're practicing mixing using those primary colors to make secondary colors and maybe even tertiary colors depending on if you add more of certain primaries to your original colors. So for example, if you make a more red-orange by adding extra red to your orange, or if you're adding more blue to your green, you're going to make a blue-green. Okay, so you could still do the tertiary colors as well. All right, happy painting.